Granblue Fantasy Relink has had an interesting development cycle, to say the least. It's one of those games that whenever it pops up, usually once a year doing the Grand Fest Festival, I immediately get excited for the game. I think it looks great. Obviously, it's got that anime aesthetic I love, and it made me aware of the Granblue franchise after seeing, the action RPG, because I think I was vaguely aware the cell phone game existed. But after seeing the trailer for Relink, I would, I'll go on the wiki sometimes for Granblue Fantasy and just check out the character art. With the myriad amount of characters it has in that game, there's some awesome character designs in Granblue. And I'll just go on the wiki and I'll read their backstory, or I'll see what, some of the characters look like, and I'll look for the coolest characters. And I'm always consciously aware when there's like a character poll for the game that comes out, I'll always check and see who's the most popular character. Right. So, the Grand Fest happened, this weekend. I checked out, there was like 26 minutes of gameplay. I checked out like a minute on my phone because it's like, oh, it's the weekend. I'm not going to be recording anything, but I'm like, I want to check out a little bit. And, it's hard to really tell from, watching it on my cell phone. But, I was reading the comments and a lot of people were like noticing, or at least they, think there is, quite a noticeable downgrade in terms of the graphics, because we also got a release date for the game too, right? And unfortunately, in the video game industry, there's been so many times when a game, is downgraded in terms of graphics before it's released. One that comes to mind is like Xenoblade Chronicles X, for example. The trailers for that game versus the actual gameplay. The cutscenes in the trailer versus cutscenes in the game, they were quite different. And that's just one example. White Knight Chronicles is another game. Holy fuck, that was just plain out deceptive in terms of how that game looked in early trailers versus its final release. But no, I'm curious to see, what all the hubbub's about, kind of judge for myself based on this, screen grab at the beginning of the video here. It looks good still. But I did read some of the comments, so I'm curious to check it out for myself. And once again, I only did see like a minute on my phone. So let's see how Granblue's shaping up. Oh, and, Platinum Games isn't involved either, which is another thing during its development cycle. A lot of people are like, what? So, we'll check it out. Cool idle. And this is one thing people were commenting on. The menus look clean as hell. And the character art for Granblue is just top fucking notch. If it was anything else but a mobile gacha game, I would probably try it. These two very much are like the vanilla pro tags or whatever. Oh, she's cute. Jita, I believe her name is. Okay, obviously, so just a training thing here. I do like the spinning kick there. Like looking like a decent action JRPG for sure. It's just, I did watch, because I did see the comments, I did watch a bunch of the earlier trailers before watching this one again, just to, refresh my memory, because it's, oh my god, it's like once a year we see anything for this game. I feel like the earlier trailers so far, anyway, I mean, there's not a lot happening right now, did seem a bit better. Like there was just like, the animation was a little more detailed. There was a lot more going on in the environments, but once again, we're only in a training pose here, right? Or sorry, a training sequence. And this character isn't as visually appealing as a lot of the other ones, in my opinion. Even if this game doesn't look as good as it has in past years, I'm still probably going to play it, because it still, by and large, looks right up my alley. So it looks like it's probably going to be a lot of fun. And, and I hate to admit this, but I'm almost used to games having a dip in graphical quality before release, because it happens so often. It doesn't happen all the times, and there's no excuse for it. I don't understand why game companies are like, oh, we'll make it look awesome in the trailer, and then when the game comes to release, they go, oh, it's going to look a little bit shittier. I'd rather undersell and over-deliver, because it's like, I don't want to sell something that isn't, true to, what I'm portraying it to be, because then everyone's going to get fucking pissed off. Cyberpunk, anybody? Fuck. And then I don't really know how the story's panning out right now in the cell phone game. Like if it's like, really high quality or not. But the biggest draw for me, it's like, hopefully it's a good story, obviously. But the character designs is what is drawing me to this game. You know, everyone, like a lot of characters just look so goddamn cool. You know, very much almost kind of like Genshin to a degree. You know, the biggest draw for me so far in that game is just its characters. Absolutely. Yeah, this character, I really like her look. Always loved the old school airships. So, such a nostalgia thing for me. Reminds me of just Final Fantasy IV so much. That's a pretty cool set piece. Oh, and we get some different types of mechanics here too. Yeah, I can... When it comes to the character movements, I definitely feel like they're a little bit lighter. If that makes sense. And it's cool that we're getting, you know, different kinds of mechanics in battle aside from just the straight up combat, right? Depending on the set piece. Ooh, I do like the raiding the enemy airship. Man, there's a lot going on with these battles, I gotta say, in terms of animations. Reminds me of Final Fantasy XIV a little bit. That was pretty cool. Well, I kind of like that dodging out of the archer's line of fire there. I would like them to switch to one of the other characters if possible for this gameplay. So I will say thus far, like, it's not an awful looking game by any stretch. It's not. It's still a very pretty game. But in terms of the other trailers we saw for it, the other trailers I would say were better. I just remember seeing those trailers every time I'd see them every year or whatever since what, 2016? I would just be like, holy fuck. You know, I'd be floored every time I saw a new trailer for that game, for this game. This one isn't really hitting me the same way. Maybe it's just what they're showing. But once again, I have to reiterate, this is still a game I would for sure pick up. Absolutely. Maybe I think I might just temper my expectations a tiny bit, adjust them a bit. You know, which sucks, obviously, but... And the other thing, too, and this is something else I'll say, is usually I'd like to watch a trailer or gameplay before I've read anyone's opinion. So having read others' opinions of this gameplay first, I'm almost wondering if that's affecting how I'm perceiving what's going on. That's something I've always thought about. That's why I really try not to read reviews and stuff for games or people's opinion of a game before I play it, because I know it will, at least subconsciously, it could affect how I perceive the game. Like Cyberpunk, for example, it's been almost unavoidable in terms of, you know, reading complaints or, you know, things about that game, just because it's penetrating all the games media right now. I am liking the special attacks in this game, though. Nice, like that. Ooh. Yeah, okay, this... Oh, we're getting just a whole bunch here. So they got some... What the fuck? Holy shit. Okay, so that looked pretty fucking dope. I really did like that. Oh shit, now we're just sliding down the fucking fallen ship. That was pretty nice. Another boss fight coming up here. I'm very curious how the standalone story, I'm assuming it'll be a standalone story for this game, will pan out. Oh, big mofo. And I do like how there's several different races in the Granblue franchise as well. Damn, just pummeling the shit out of this guy. Oh, god damn. Well, I like how, for this boss fight example, it's a wide open space. It's easy to see what's going on. The camera's not super fucked. Well, it just looks like a lot of fun. Man, he's only at 80 fucking %. Holy shit. So from what I can remember of the other trailers, it was fairly easy to switch between characters, no? I'm just wondering why they're focusing on the one character, for this entire trailer in terms of like her being the main perspective. And I can't remember the character pulling. Is Jita one of the fan favorites? I feel like she is probably very popular. But I obviously don't know for sure. Loving the special attacks, though. Still. Man, they just all go one after another. I guess comboing them or whatever. Okay, now his HP's gone down a bit. Oh, damn. That was badass as hell. That's not getting old either. That's just super fun to watch. As fun as the game is to watch, and it looks like it'll be a lot of fun to play. Obviously not seeing anything revolutionary in terms of mechanics or whatever. Which is maybe what people were hoping for with Platinum Games' involvement. That it would just be an action RPG to the next level. Mixed with arguably one of the most popular, gacha RPG series of all time. No, it'll be very interesting to see how Cygames does, because this is their first big AAA RPG, that's being developed. And even if it's just, an okay, or even if it's just a good game, it's nothing like groundbreaking. If it's still like just a solid game, it's a good first stepping stone for them. They'll learn a lot by developing this game. If they learn from their mistakes and they keep what's good, the next AAA Granblue game, which I'm sure there will be, could be something really special. So no, I in terms of my expectations, maybe they were expecting something amazing before. Now I'm just expecting, more like a good to great game, or a very good game. And, it'll be a stepping stone to maybe something even better down the road. It's kind of how I'm viewing this game now. Because obviously, I want it to be successful, because I'm never probably going to play the gacha, and I'll play their console games instead. And boss battles obviously are not quick. They are taking a good while, which I like. So that's it for the gameplay portion, from what I can see. So, I wish I hadn't read those comments first, right? But, in terms of how they, people think the gameplay has, been reduced in terms of quality. Oh, I will say I'm probably inclined to agree with that statement. At this point, just having watched the older trailers first, it just seemed like there was more flow to the animation. They were a bit more heavy, a bit more weight to them, if that makes sense for people. No, but I'm still, looking forward to this game. Obviously the whole thing with Platinum being involved and then not being involved. Obviously a lot of rumors started to spread around then. And I will admit it does seem weird that their contract was ended, and then it's just I think it was like erased completely from their website, or Cygames' website, or both, that Platinum was ever even involved, which does seem weird, but who's to say what actually went down? We'll probably never fucking know, and if we do, it's probably not going to be for a good long time. So I know a lot of people are disappointed Platinum Games hasn't seen this game through to completion, and I would say the same thing. I would definitely say so, because when they were involved, and we were seeing the results of that work in the earlier trailers, like holy fuck, those first trailers, holy goddamn, amazing. And then I think this game, I think I was reading in the comments too, this was supposed to be released in 2018, didn't happen, and now we're going to 2022. You know, so it's been a long time. It's going to be what, 4, 5, 6 years from announcement to release, right? So no, I just, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing more characters to this game, more gameplay. You know, I'm still excited for this game. I'll still play this game. It still looks like it's probably going to be a lot of fun to play. And I mean, they did say they are in the alpha stage, so you know, there's a lot of, you know, it's in a playable state, but they got more assets to add. A lot of assets are temporary assets, so you know, gameplay quality could improve still. Graphics could improve still. You know, a lot of things could change. My gut reaction to the end result, though, I don't think it's going to be quite up to the scale as the earlier trailers. I feel like when I've seen a lot of trailers, they go from like a higher quality, or games or whatever, from a higher quality, and then you start seeing a lower quality all of a sudden. Very rarely does it go back up to that higher quality again. At least from what I can remember off the top of my head. If you guys have any other examples for me, let me know. Yeah, but no, once again, big draw for this game, the characters, the art style. You know, combat still looks like a lot of fun. You know, I'm very curious how they're going to do with the story. You know, how they're going to have a self-contained story in the Granblue world, because I know nothing of the overarching plot for that game. So, no, what do you guys think of Granblue Fantasy Relink? Are you excited for this game? You know, how do you feel after this trailer? You know, are you less excited? Are you more excited? Are you the same? You know, I would say maybe I'm the tiniest bit less excited, just the tiniest bit. Because I just think there was so much going on in the other trailers that this one was lacking. So I'd say maybe a tiny bit less, but not an absolute ton. You know, I think maybe I'll just have to readjust my expectations a little bit, as I've said already in this video. But, you know, I think that's an okay thing to do. So if anything, they'll exceed my expectations and I'll be pleasantly surprised, right? So anyway, thanks guys for watching this, and I'll talk to you later.